Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and here we have the new USA-made Kershaw Launch 15 in Magnacut steel. Now, we're going to talk more about that Magnacut here in 1 second. Aluminum body with an inlay, a micarta inlay, and a micarta backspacer. Deep carry clip, and it has some nice traction back here on the grip. We'll talk more about that here in 1 second. And it is an automatic. Now, I did buy this. I think it was $157 or right around there, something like that. Spear point blade with really good geometry. I am so happy to see such good geometry on this blade because, you know, in a lot of autos, you see them, they just, a lot of them seem super thick. Like, it almost doesn't make sense. Like, why? Why does it have to be so thick? But this one's nice and thin. So this one's going to be super slicey. And the aluminum handle is pretty ergonomic. It's going to work in pretty much every grip. You do have the guard right here. So, you know, it does kind of stop you from slipping up the blade, but it kind of gets in the way a little bit, especially, you know, putting your thumb on the spine, but it's not bad. Like, I could totally bear down and you know, it not bother me a bit. So not worried about that at all. The deep carry clip is reversible, which is cool. I do wish they would have put flat screws instead of button screws, but whatever, not that big of a deal. I like the stone washed blade. I think the handle looks really good. I like the overall look, the action. It's not a ProTech, but it's pretty snappy. And, you know, it is new, so it still has some breaking in to do. We'll see if it, you know, gets... It seems like it's getting more and more powerful. You know, I've only had it today. Yeah, it smacks pretty good. You know, I'm going to give it credit. It smacks pretty good. It's not the strongest. Like I said, it's not like a ProTech, but it definitely has some pop to it. It's definitely reliable. Now, speaking about the Magnacut, I don't know what they're running it at. I am trying to contact them. I'm going to try to get a hold of them and see what they're running it at, what HRC. You know, I'm hoping they're going to say 62, at least 62 at the very least. I hope they say 62, but we'll see. We'll see what they say. So I'm waiting for them to respond back, and then I will be doing another video in the future on this. I'm sure I'll be featuring it in a few videos. It is a USA-made knife, and, you know, I'm happy to get it on the channel. So, and I like it. I do like it. I got to admit, I do like it quite a bit. This is nice. Now, my problem. Let's talk about my problem here. It's an automatic. So, one, you know, like in the state I live in, you can't really carry automatics without a carrying license or something like that. So you got to have an FOID card or a carrying license, carrying permit to carry an auto or an OTF or something like that. Now, to be honest, I'm honestly not even a big fan of carrying autos. I like manual knives the most. And they recently discontinued the bare knuckle and the knockout, which was two USA-made knives from Kershaw that was, well, one of them was manual. The other one was not manual. So the bare knuckle was the manual one. The knockout was assisted. But it's kind of disappointing because, you know, I really, because they've always been, or at least for the past, like, I don't know, probably 10 years, they've been the go-to for budget USA made. When you think of what's the best knife for $100 or less, it's always been a Kershaw, because they do make knives in the U.S. But now they've discontinued that, so now I can't think of a USA-made manual knife that's from Kershaw or anybody else that's $100 or less. And I'd really, really like to see that back from them. Hopefully, maybe in the future, they start working on more manual knives, because they have this whole launch series. And they have a ton of automatic knives. It's like, why can't they fit in one good USA-made manual knife? You know, I know the automatics and the assisted knives allow them to cut some corners a little bit because they don't have to get detents tuned. They don't have to have a super smooth action or anything. And a lot of people like autos, which is fine. But there's also a huge market out there for manual knives. So I'm really hoping that we see more of that. All in all, this knife, I like it a lot. I do like it. It's a damn good knife. Feels very solid. There's no play any direction. Even with me muscling it, this thing is very solid. I got to give it credit. It's a very well done USA made knife. The inlay work is done extremely well, even better than I could have even imagined. So, I got to give them props on this one. They did a really, really good job on this. The centering's perfect. As I said before, no play in any direction. I like the size of the stop pin. I like how they did the micarta backspacer. Even down to this jimping back here is pretty nice. So, very, very cool. Even the sharpening tool, it's the one spot that I could complain about right now, not knowing about the Magnacut, because otherwise that could be one of them. But I'm not going to go too crazy about this sharpening tool. Yes, it could be better. Yes, I would like to see a deeper choil separated from the plunge grind a little bit more, because you're not going to get but maybe one good sharpening out of this before it does hit the plunge grind. So it will hit it rather quickly. But considering all the other details are done so well, I'm not too mad at that. Okay, actually, I did just try something, and I did find a pretty significant negative, and that is this clip. My jean pockets are a little bit too thick for this ramp, and this thing was entirely way too tight to get it in. I couldn't get it in whatsoever, not even a little bit. So I did have to grab a tool, and I bent the clip up a little bit, and now it's working. So what I did is I put this under here, and I wedged it up and bent it up a little bit, which does help. So now I can at least slip it in. But this ramp is still a little narrow, so what I might do is grab some needle nose pliers and just pop that up just a little bit taller. These jeans I'm wearing do have thick pockets, so that could be one of the main causes. But still, it was still entirely way too tight, even with my other jeans. So, I think it'll be okay now that I bent it up. If I remember, the bare knuckles clip was kind of similar to that right at first, but it quickly broke in, so not that big of a deal. Hopefully, this Magnacut's done well. That's the only thing I don't know yet, and I haven't passed it through any materials yet, but, I've cut with enough knives. I know that this thing will cut very, very well. And we'll be doing some testing on it, so we shall see how it does. But anyways, there you guys go. Just a first look at the new USA-made Launch 15 in Magnacut steel. I love you guys. Peace.